My best friend and I have played Madlibs since we were kids, and we often play them together as adults on road trips. We're always looking for ways to make them even more interesting and funny, and now that AI art has arrived on the scene, it was a perfect match. So here's how this works. We send each other the words for a Madlib. We then enter those words into our Madlibs, and we run each sentence through MidJourney to create art to go along with it. Then, we get together, share what we created, and hilarity ensues. Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new, please come in and make yourself at home. My name is Paddy Cake, and welcome to Paddy Cake Games, and tonight's episode of MidJourney Madlibs. With me, as always, is my best friend and co-host, Brent. How are you doing today?
I'm well.
Good.
I'm prepared early today, so I'm sure some major disaster will happen.
We're not going to waste any time. You guys know how this works. We send each other Madlibs. We send each other the answers to the Madlibs. We plug those sentences into MidJourney. We create art. We get together. We show it to each other, and we laugh. And that's the show. And we hope you like it. If you do like it, look down below the video. There's a little button just for that. Just click the little thumbs up button, and that shows that you like this video. And if you want to be even more thorough, you can click the subscribe button, and that'll make sure that you never have cursed AI art generated. It could happen. And also, click the notification bell. That way you'll know when new videos are posted to the channel. Brent, I think we're closing out this story finally.
If only. Okay, we have part 4 of the Great Bubblegum Fall. And this is in the style of another Frank Frazetta. I will tell you right now, I am very sorry for any previous episode where I referred to him as Frank Frazetta.
Okay, so I have to take partial blame for that because when you mentioned him to me and I recognized the art, I immediately started calling him Frank Frazetta because that's what I thought his name was. And when you search for Frank Frazetta in Google, it gives you Frank Frazetta stuff, and I never noticed that the N wasn't there. So I am also sorry because I'm one of the ones that perpetuated that problem. I even put it in correctly on the wheel last week, so.
Frank Frazetta was born February 9th, 1928 in Brooklyn, New York City. He was the only boy with 3 sisters and spent much of his time with his grandmother. She encouraged him in art at the young age of 2. Just before he died, he recalled how her encouragement worked and the results.
When I drew something, she would be the one to say it was wonderful and would give me a penny to keep going. Sometimes I had nothing left to draw on but toilet paper. As I got older, I started drawing some pretty wild things for my age. I remember the teachers were always mesmerized by what I was doing, so it was hard to learn anything from them. So I went to art school when I was a little kid, and even there the teachers were flipping out.
And yes, at the age of 8, he attended the Brooklyn Academy of Fine Arts. His first comic book work was inking the 8-page story Snowman, penciled by John Giunta. And his first solo work was the single-page Ahoy! Enemy Ship, featuring his character, Captain Kidd Jr. Frazetta did art for so many different mediums. The body parody strip Little Annie Fanny in Playboy magazine, a painting of Ringo Starr for a Mad magazine ad parody, the film poster for What's New Pussycat, which earned him an entire year's salary all at once, paintings for the cover art of mass market paperbacks, famously including Robert E. Howard's Conan the Barbarian. He also did a few comic stories in black and white for the Warren Publishing Horror and War magazines, Creepy, Eerie, Blazing Combat, and Vampirella. Frazetta was inducted into the comic book industry's Will Eisner Comic Book Hall of Fame in 1995, the Jack Kirby Hall of Fame in 1999, and the Society of Illustrators Hall of Fame in 1998. In 2001, he was awarded a Life Achievement Award from the World Fantasy Convention. In 2014, Frazetta was inducted into the Science Fiction Hall of Fame, and then in 2016 into the Album Cover Hall of Fame. And finally, this year, Frazetta was inducted into the Inkwell Awards Joe Sennett Hall of Fame. Now let's enjoy my story in the style of Frank Frazetta. So, once we kids finished sleeping up, salvaging as many ghostly-looking gumballs as we could, it was heavily time for a nap.
Oh. Okay, that headboard would give me nightmares.
Are you sure that's a headboard?
Well, I'm hoping it's a headboard. In my head canon, that's a headboard, and they are not in mortal danger of getting attacked by the vampire lord of the castle where they're staying the night.
Well, first of all, in this story, this is my brother, my sister, and I. So I don't know who these ladies are. This is giving me Nancy Drew vibes. I almost wonder if you
totally
illustrated any.
Totally, yeah.
My older sister and I browsed an imaginative story about what happened after a stupid number of gumballs fell into Topper's cage.
So, did you tell it to put a parrot in there?
I don't know. I don't think so. I might have, but maybe not.
Because Topper was a parrot, but how did it know that? That's a little creepy.
You'll recall, Topper was my dad's black-headed Eastern Hemisphere parrot. He was not a brain-raised bird, so he wasn't tame at all. He was not exceptional about any of this. My dad doesn't really look like that, but I still like the effort. Thanks, Frank.
Someone's dad looks like that. Yeah, someone's dad looks like that. My grandfather looked like that.
So begins our terrible tale. Topper quickly began clicking on the colorful pyramids of chewy sweetness. He'd stuffed nearly 20 gum pyramids into his beak.
Topper, I don't know. He doesn't seem fully bird-like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's the whole issue of the hands there.
Yes, because birds typically don't have hands.
We were so surprised when the stunned tropical bird began to blow a broken beige bubble. Does this look as if the bird is actually blowing this bubble?
No.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like blown glass. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those automatic plant watering things. Those bulbs you fill with water and you stick in. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
That bubble quickly engulfed his floral cage and then filled my whole couch room.
Oh, wow. It's very floral. It's too floral.
And there's apparently a lot more birds in here, and I don't know how this dude showed up, but Topper dumped loudly.
Did he now?
So sorry. Topper dumped loudly, demanding that we shove more gumballs into his beak so he could continue helping up the still growing bubble.
Oh, okay. Now this is the Frank Frazetta I'm used to seeing.
Oh, child. He has gotten into these gumballs, and this is no.
Yeah, this is okay. So
he's
I
not
guess
being denied.
Feeding gumballs to Topper is the equivalent of feeding Mogwai after midnight, apparently.
Yeah, this is awfully terrifying. How could a bird without glands to make coffee, needed to make the gum chewy, also float a bubble with no ankles to pucker?
There's a lot of nonsense in that statement.
That's not a bird.
No, it's a kind of half gorilla bird.
And it only has one wing.
It only has one wing and 3 arms. And it's got a cup of coffee.
It's got a cappuccino there. Yeah, buddy. By now, our entire house had been swallowed by the ever-hosting candy cocoon. And we were moved outside just in time to see nearly a few houses and their yards swallowed by Topper's banjo.
Well, I see no banjo there. Obviously, it's lost the idea that Topper is a parrot a long time ago, because now it's just making it random things.
I think this is the ever-hosting candy cocoon, but I could be wrong.
It's like the Hulk meets the Toxic Avenger.
Tis scary. Hello? Wait. What was that? Find a stopping place. Okay. Oh, hey guys. That was my director. She said we need to stop here. Sorry to leave you hanging.
I like that the cord comes directly out of her wrist.
Oh, well, you know. She's dedicated to her job.
Is that shadow on the mountain her?
Like,
Is that her
large?
shadow on the mountain? How huge is this poor girl?
This is why I listen to her. But let's do some honorable mentions. So this is us,
it's Shrek on the moon.
we're sleeping up, salvaging as many ghostly-looking gumballs as we could.
It's
And
Shrek.
now suffer now.
It's Shrek on the moon with a ghostly gumball in the sky.
All right, here's our next one. This one here. Yeah. This is dumped loudly here.
So the first thing that popped in my head, I mean, it is kind of frightening when it first pops up, but all I can think of is no.
That is it for the Great Bubblegum Hall Part 4.
And before we get to mine, though, I hear the Lady Shablagoo is back. And now, story time with Lady Shablagoo.
Oh. You want to hear about my daddy's 50th birthday shindig? Well, I promised you a birthday, so here it is. Let me tell you, it was one for the books. We had the whole shebang set up at our family farm. My parents, not mine, of course. We don't have a farm, we live in town. With decorations and food and a band to celebrate the occasion. Little did we know it would turn into a wild and unforgettable night. First of all, the governor of Alabama decided to make an appearance. Now, you would think having the governor at your party would be an honor, but let me tell you, he was quite a flirt. He shamelessly charmed all the ladies, that's what he thought, leaving them giggling and blushing. Even my mama couldn't help but blush a little. At least he had enough sense not to pinch my behind. Maybe those country ladies thought it was cute, but I'm a genteel southern lady. If you want to pinch my behind, you better buy me a mint julep first. And that night, we had an open bar. As for the band, we had a local Alabama cover band called Adumus Jura. Something to do with the Alabama state motto. I don't know Latin. They were supposed to play all the proper tunes to get everyone dancing and having a good time, and they did. First. But as the night wore on, I suspect they got a little too carried away with the festivities themselves. They started swigging down their fair share of the moonshine we had on hand. And their playlist, it took a wild turn. This is what started it. You see, Becky Ann Turner, who came from those crazy Blackburns down Gadsden way, requested Sweet Home Alabama, which of course, Alabama themselves covered. But after that, we were all rocking out the Lynyrd Skynyrd songs instead of the more traditional tunes we had intended for the rest of the night. Nobody minded. They even let my dear Shelby sing lead on Simple Man, which he dedicated to my daddy. Afterward, Daddy kept telling anybody who would listen that he just got smoke in his eyes during that song. Men are so funny sometimes. They ain't fooling nobody but themselves. And then, to add to the chaos, a bull calf managed to escape from its pen somehow. It started chasing all the dogs that people had brought to the party, creating a hilarious scene of dogs running every which way with a frantic calf hot on their heels. It nearly toppled the beautiful cake, decorated with ice and camellias and an edible yellowhammer that my cousin had spent hours meticulously crafting. You know, those are the state flower and bird of that lovely state. But you know, the biggest surprise of all came just about the time the sun went down. Just when we thought the wildness had reached its peak, a group of skydivers floated from the night sky, illuminating the entire farm with fireworks and colored smoke. It was a breathtaking sight, and it left everyone in awe. Oh, I know you're wondering, so I'll tell you. My brother, he was an Army Ranger lane grader over at Fort Benning. That's just a fancy term for instructor. Anyway, he came down from Fort Benning, Georgia, and he decided to use Daddy's birthday for his recruits' night parachute training exercise. Well, everybody had been asking where he was, but nobody expected that grand entrance. My, I tell you, the night was filled with laughter, unexpected moments, and memories that will last a lifetime. It may not have been a picture-perfect birthday party we had envisioned, but it was a celebration like no other. That's it for today. I don't know what I'll tell you next. Maybe I'll tell you about my kids. Oh yeah, I got kids. I might also tell you about my famous spaghetti. You know what? I think I'll just surprise you and save them kids and spaghetti for later. See ya.
All right, so my Madlib tonight is called Gamer Gear Must-Haves, and it's done in the style of a diorama. The word diorama is exactly 200 years old. It uses the Greek words di, meaning through, and orama, which translates to that which is seen. Eventually, the art of dioramas evolved into creating a replica of the scene. It is typically a three-dimensional model and can be full-size or in miniature. The most common places to see a diorama is in the museum, typically full-size and behind glass, or in a dumpster behind any elementary school, where miniature dioramas are often assigned as projects. One of the most famous diorama makers in history was Otto Gottstein, a Jewish immigrant from Hitler's Germany. In 1935, he founded the British Model Soldier Society and persuaded designer and painter friends to help in the construction of dioramas depicting notable events in English history. The 15 dioramas created by Gottstein and his colleagues have since been distributed to other museums in England, but sadly, some have been lost over time. Another common medium for dioramas is Lego, which we had in a previous episode. The ready-made constructability and the variety of shapes and colors makes Lego a perfect medium for creating intricately detailed miniature scenes in any setting that you can imagine. And one of the most well-known diorama styles is that of the Nativity, which depicts the birth of Christ. Among these, the Catalan nativities have a very unusual tradition. Children are often tasked with finding the caganer, or pooper, hidden in the diorama. This figurine is depicted emptying his or her bowels onto the ground, which is considered a sign of prosperity for the coming year because he's fertilizing the soil. So enjoy this Madlib with art in the style of a diorama.
Oh, yes, the dreaded diorama. One of those.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had to do a diorama as a school project. I did make them, well, actually, no, one school project. It was part of the theater class, and we had to make a diorama of a set, and then use that diorama to actually build the set for the show we were doing that season. What does a gamer need in order to ensure ultimate victory? He needs all of these things.
I love that Mario's actually almost right.
Yeah, even has the M. Like, it actually got that. It's almost right. The color's a little off. If they would have had the blue go all the way across to the other leg, it would have been perfect. I don't really recognize any of the other characters.
So
in this.
Is the red car, is that a gaming console?
It's what it kind of looks like to me. It looks like a gaming console. All right, so here's what you need. You need sound explosion. This floppy headset brings the pineapple straight on top of spaghetti.
What is that? Sorry.
Well, it's a floppy headset, and it's on top of spaghetti.
And there's a sun that
It's made out of spaghetti. Nothing about this was about gaming in this particular prompt. It was just the floppy headset and the pineapple and on top of spaghetti. But the back kind of looks like the desert levels in Mario. With sound so clear, you'll feel like a polecat tracking its prey. So cute. And they even photographed it in a way that showed the dimension, that it was focused on that but blurry in the back, which a lot of times you have that effect whenever you photograph something very small.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's so cute. Crunch Trough. After a long day of battling evil, you definitely need some snacks.
A crunch trough. Okay.
These dudes are so funny.
How did it even get that from that? I mean, I feel like there should be snacks in there.
I think they are the snacks. I feel like they're made of marshmallow or something. How about 3.83 different varieties, including potato bananas, Choco Bites, and glittery frosted mini biscuits. Yum.
It definitely caught the mini.
Yep, and it definitely caught potato bananas because those look like bananas carved out of potatoes. It reminds me of those videos you see of people make the tiniest lunch, the tiniest little burrito.
Or like the hamster.
Yeah, it's like hamster
cake
meals.
and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Vermin Tech. This cordless corn on the cob allows you to chatter without any hassle. I don't know why you would need a cordless corn on the cob for any reason whatsoever, but I would like to point out that this has a cord, so cordless is a misnomer.
Maybe it's one of the little things you have to pull off. But
I also have no idea what this would be used for. I have some ideas, but we're not going to talk about those in this video.
no, we're not.
It's so good, you can even use it in an exclusive kennel for fancy dogs. That is a very fancy kennel. Very fancy.
Well, are we talking like a personal home kennel, or in my head I was imagining like somewhere where you board your dogs, but
Well, that could be both.
Building.
That could be both. I mean, it's a diorama of the building, remember?
True.
So it's not the actual
This is just
building.
the entrance.
This is just the
Has
entrance.
Plants
Yeah.
behind it.
Doozy koozie. Are you tired of your used motor oil spilling all over your cow? I know I am. So it's definitely a diorama of an old gas station out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm going to tell you right now, except for the lack of pumps, this looks almost just like the gas station that Terry and I stopped at on our way when we were going from Del Rio to Sonora because we were about to run out of gas. I don't know how we made it, and we stopped at a place just like that, and they weren't open.
Aw. Did it also have a gigantic tree with little tiny branches at the top?
I don't know. It was definitely a horror movie level type gas station.
Your drink will never punch again with this drunk holder. Well, obviously, your drink will never do anything again because there's no way to get it out. Because there's no opening.
Oh, if you're desperate enough, you can use a hammer.
In case of extreme desire for wine, break glass. But why is there a hand inside?
I don't know.
That's really weird. Is it attached to that little knob? Do you twist the knob and the hand grabs the drink and I don't know. I don't know what to make of this one. But that's the doozy koozie.
Oh, wow, that's not effective. Or it's very effective. I'm not sure which. You're not spilling nothing for sure.
Right? Insulator 5000. The ultimate loving console is here. 42 games at your disposal. 42 games at launch is huge, though. I mean, most consoles, when they launch, they have 10 games at best. I don't know how this controller works, though. It looks very uncomfortable. It doesn't look like a modern console at all.
I'm sad it didn't use the loving prompt.
You won't want to leave your flag room ever again. It is definitely a flag room, and it is filled with flags and chairs.
And chairs and paintings.
And paintings, and it is quite obviously miniatures.
Yeah, it looks like a dollhouse.
So how about some honorable mentions?
Ooh.
So this is the Sound Explosion, the floppy headset. It's on top of spaghetti.
That is so crazy. I think the spaghetti's on top of it.
It
just
is.
For the record.
And that's very messy, and I don't want to put that on my head. Thank you very much. This is the same prompt. This one I kept because the pineapple's made of spaghetti, which I thought was really an interesting interpretation of that.
Tis.
And then we have
Also, that was fettuccine.
the wireless corn on the cob, the cordless corn on the cob, and it still has a cord, so it's still
maybe
in
it's
this
charging.
It has to be because it's supposed to be cordless, but I still don't know what it's for. What do you need a cordless corn on the cob for? What does it do?
I don't know. Right.
Here's the next one. It's again with the cordless corn on the cob.
These might actually be cordless.
This one actually looks like it's probably cordless, but it also I have no idea what it's for. Like, what does this do?
It's like a whole entire thing. I don't know.
That's the end of my Madlib, by the way. So that's it.
Awesome. We hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July tomorrow. And we're going to be in a pool.
Yes, we will. We're going to be in a pool. We're going to be swimming. We're going to be eating brisket.
So while you're thinking of us doing that, don't forget, like us,
subscribe to us.
us, and then remind yourself to come back. Finally, don't forget, tell all your friends. Please. We need them. We want them.
We don't. But we'll see you guys in the next video anyway. Bye!
Like and subscribe. Nope. Like and subscribe. Like and prescribe. No! Like and subscribe. Yeah.